On Lothal, Ezra Bridger joins the crew of the Ghost, with Hera, Kanan, Sabine, Zeb, and Chopper. Agent Callus is sent to snuff out any spark of potential rebellion on the planet, as the crew get word of captured Wookiees from Vizago. On board, Ezra senses something, finding a Jedi holocron and lightsaber hidden away in the chambers of Kanan Jarrus. The Spectres intercept an Imperial Wookiee slave ship, but it was a setup. Ezra opens the Jedi holocron, hearing Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi's warning. The crew save the Wookiees, but in a tight spot, Kanan is forced to ignite his lightsaber, revealing himself to be a Jedi. Getting away, Ezra returns the opened holocron. Having passed the test, Kanan offers to train the kid in the ways of the Force. Zeb believes himself to be one of the few Lasats left after his world was destroyed by the Empire. Callus faces the Lasat wielding the weapon of their honor guard, a bow rifle. Whilst shopping, Zeb and Ezra get into trouble with some troopers stealing a TIE fighter and hiding it for future use. Ghoul Travis reports the capture of Luminara Unduli on the HoloNet. Attempting to free the Jedi Master, Kanan and his new Padawan are confronted by the Grand Inquisitor, who reveals she was dead long ago, used to draw Jedi to their doom. Ezra is tasked with infiltrating the Imperial Academy, needing a decoder to stop a Kyber shipment. Along his way, he helps Zere and Jai Kel escape. However, Zere goes back, intending to look for his sister who disappeared in the Academy. Young Mandalorian Sabine questions Hera's intel source, codenamed Fulcrum, but Hera asks to be trusted. It's Empire Day, also Ezra's birthday. On Lothal, the Imperials search for Sibo, an old friend of his parents. The Inquisitor tracks them, forcing Kanan and Ezra to lead him away. However, Kanan's concerned upon watching his Padawan give in to his fear and anger. Drawn to a hidden Jedi temple on Lothal, Ezra is tested, seeing visions of Kanan's death. But he faces this fear, speaking with Master Yoda. The Grand Master also speaks with Kanan as he expresses his doubts over becoming a master, not trusting himself. Deep within the temple, Ezra collects his Kyber crystal, creating his own lightsaber. Losing Chopper in a game of Sabacc to Lando Calrissian, the Ghost crew help him move cargo past the Empire blockade to get him back. Ezra sees visions of the future. Travis knew his parents, but they are betrayed as he is revealed to be working for the Empire. Tarkin visits Lothal with Callus failing to deal with the insurgents. Travis publicly rejoins the Empire, offering a reward for the capture of the rebels. Wishing to transmit a message of hope, the Ghost crew hijack an Imperial satellite. Kanan is captured, but Ezra succeeds, spreading a message of hope and unity before they blow up the tower. The crew get hold of prisoner logs, and despite warnings from Fulcrum, they attempt to rescue Kanan, who's on board Tarkin's Star Destroyer above Mustafar. Using their stolen TIE fighter, the Ghost crew get on board, with Ezra freeing his master. Attacked by the Inquisitor, Ezra falls. With nothing left to fear, Kanan engages and defeats him, as the Grand Inquisitor falls into flame, choosing death over Vader. Chopper brings Fulcrum and the rebel fleet to help evacuate his crew, with Hera explaining to them that there are other cells of rebels. Fulcrum introduces herself as Ahsoka Tano. Meanwhile, with the Grand Inquisitor's death, the Emperor orders Vader deal with the rebels in Lothal himself.
There are some things far more frightening than death.
Now a part of the growing rebel alliance, Kanan isn't too keen on fighting alongside soldiers once again. Afraid of Vader, Minister Chua asks the Ghost crew for help, wanting to defect as she believes her life is in danger. As they arrive back on Lothal, both Kanan and Ezra feel cold, sensing Vader's presence. Chua is killed during the rescue attempt, and they are confronted by the Sith Lord. Easily overwhelmed, the team just about escape. They are tracked back to the rebel fleet, with Vader coming after them. Ahsoka senses him, reaching out, recognizing a familiar presence before passing out. The fleet escapes, and Vader reports to the Emperor Anakin Skywalker's apprentice lives, sending more Inquisitors to hunt them down. In need of a base, Ahsoka suggests they ask an old friend of hers for help, telling Kanan to trust him. He struggles to do so, however, as the contact is Rex. His master was killed by clones. Afraid they'll be found out there helping Jedi, Worf reports them to the Empire. Regretting his decision, together they defeat the Imperial forces coming after them, with Rex reuniting with Ahsoka. Sabine, Chopper, Zeb and Ezra travel to an abandoned medical center for supplies. There they encounter two Inquisitors, just about getting away thanks to Zeb. Ezra picks up a distress signal from Vizago's ship, finding Hondo Anaka on board, claiming to have won it in a game of sabacc. Searching the ship, he finds Vizago in a holding cell. Freeing him, Hondo escapes, gifting Ezra with Vizago's generators upon bumping into the Ghost crew. Unable to break through an Imperial blockade, Rex suggests they visit an engineer who has designed a heavy-duty starfighter blockade buster. Hera meets with him, proving herself worthy of flying Blade Wing, using it to destroy the blockade, being promoted to Phoenix Leader Captain. An old friend of Sabine's, Ketsu, is now part of Black Sun. Sabine gives her a second chance as they have to work together to escape Imperial capture, delivering intel to Senator Organa. Kanan and Rex are forced to get on, slowly gaining respect for each other during a rescue mission for Commander Sato. Ahsoka has words that the Inquisitors are hunting Force-sensitive children. Protecting one of them, Ezra faces them alone, until Ahsoka arrives, igniting her white blades, dispatching the wannabe Sith with ease. After all, she was trained by the Jedi Order's greatest warrior. Tracking a Lothcat from a vision, Ezra meets Ryder Azadi, ex-governor of Lothal, accused of treason and imprisoned with Ezra's parents. He confirms the worst. Senator Organa sends his daughter Leia with more ships to gift to the rebels. They stage it as a theft to minimize Alderaan suspicion, with Ryder agreeing to rejoin the fight. In need of a new hyperspace route, Sabine suggests the system of Concord Dawn, a Mandalorian colony not in Imperial territory yet. When asking for permission, they are attacked by Fen Rao, protector of Concord Dawn. Acting in the name of the Empire, Kanan and Sabine capture Rao. Not wanting Imperial ships over his territory, he orders his men to stand down and not report it, allowing the rebels to pass. Hondo contacts the crew, informing them of refugees in need of help. Zeb isn't the last of his kind. Java talks of a prophecy about Lirasan, their new homeworld. Performing a ritual, they are led through an imploding star cluster to this world, with Zeb promising to lead others there upon his travels. In need of fuel, the Spectres follow a pack of Purgles to a refinery. During their mission, Ezra is knocked off the station, saved by the Purgles, connecting with the creatures. Destroying the refinery, the Purgles are free to use the gas, allowing them to breathe and travel, jumping through hyperspace. Returning to Ryloth, Hera's father, Cham Syndulla, intends to destroy a light carrier. Hera convinces him not to do so, stealing it instead. Rebel intel claims the Empire is building something over Geonosis. Chopper scans and there is no life. It was a trap. Zeb is separated from the group, jumping in an escape pod, with Kallus following suit, crash landing on a Geonosis moon. They both awake, working together to survive, with Kallus explaining his role in the destruction of Lasan. It wasn't supposed to be a massacre. The Ghost picks up Zeb, leaving Kallus waiting for the Empire, rethinking his role in all this. Seeking guidance from Master Yoda, Kanan, Ezra and Ahsoka return to the Lothal Jedi Temple. Kanan is faced with a Jedi Temple guard, claiming Ezra must be killed as he feels the pull to the dark side. Ezra meanwhile speaks with Yoda, and Ahsoka has visions, struggling to accept the identity of the Sith Lord. Accepting he can only do his best and cannot protect his Padawan forever, Kanan is officially made Jedi Knight. Yoda advises they travel to Malachor, waving to his old Padawan friend, a comforting sight. During a fuel run, Chopper is left behind, meeting AP-5, an Imperial inventory droid, who joins the rebel team. Establishing a base on Attalon, spider-like creatures attack the rebels. Noting the sensor marker wards the creatures off, they cover the base with them. Ahsoka, Kanan and Ezra head to Malachor, finding an ancient Sith temple, surrounded by a scorched battlefield of thousands of years before. Attacked by an Inquisitor, Ezra falls into the lower levels, hearing the voice of an old man, who offers his assistance. He knows how to enter the temple, but needs young Ezra's help to do so. He was once a Force wielder, a Sith even. Darth Maul. Maul leads Ezra inside the temple, tempting him into using his anger and passion as fuel. They eventually come across a Sith holocron, taking it, with the temple beginning to awaken. With the other Inquisitors arriving, Maul makes his entrance, much to the surprise of Ahsoka. He ignites his saber, taking all 3 Inquisitors on at once, scaring them off. Warning the Jedi Vader will come soon, he insists they work together to join the holocron with the obelisk within the temple to unlock the knowledge of the Sith. Maul slowly gains Ezra's trust before dispatching the Inquisitors and attacking Kanan, blinding the Jedi Knight. Ezra activates the temple, or to be more precise, a battle station in which Maul intends to use to exact his revenge on all his enemies. Ahsoka goes after Ezra as Kanan embraces the Force to push Maul into the void below. Vader arrives, toying with the young Jedi, destroying his saber. Before he delivers the killing blow, Ahsoka steps in to face her old master, intending to avenge his death. Kanan and Ezra work together to remove the holocron, shutting down the temple. Ahsoka swipes at Vader's mask, allowing her to stare into the eyes of the man she no longer recognizes. She pushes Ezra back, keeping the Dark Lord at bay, refusing to leave her master for a second time. Kanan and Ezra escape as the temple explodes. Vader limps from the ruins, as does Ahsoka.
Then you will die.
Ezra breaks Hondo out of prison after he claims to have useful intel. Old Y-Wing starfighters are being taken apart for scrap. Back at the rebel base, Kanan hears someone calling to him. He goes to talk with Ezra, finding the Sith holocron opened, having been used by his Padawan. Following the voice, he finds the Bendu, an entity in the middle, not dark, not light. He teaches Kanan to see through the Force, as Tarkin introduces Grand Admiral Thrawn to the Lothal rebel mission. Kanan leaves the Sith holocron with the Bendu, as he overcomes his fear. Sensing danger, he leaves to help Ezra, who only secures 5 starfighters after putting the team in danger. Maul captures the Ghost Crew, requesting the Sith holocron, as he finds Kanan's Jedi holocron within his chambers. Bringing them together with Ezra, they are granted a clarity of vision beyond their understanding. Any secret, any wisdom. Before Ezra destroys the holocrons, they see twin suns, confirming Maul's suspicion. With the rebellion having limited pilots, Sabine gets word that Imperial pilot cadets want to defect from a Fulcrum agent. She goes undercover, meeting Wedge Antilles. Attempting to escape, they are captured but helped by Agent Kallus, who tells Sabine that he and Zeb are now even. Hera's father escapes home, unable to secure their Kalakori, but Ezra and Hera sneak into a home to retrieve it. Rex leads a salvage mission but is captured by old battle droids, led by a super tactical droid. It demands one last fight, but ultimately they work together to battle the Empire, ending the Clone Wars for good. Having lost contact with the Protectors, Sabine and Rao return to find they have been killed by Gar Saxon, Imperial Viceroy of Mandalore. Iron Squadron led by Mart Matin tackle Imperials head-on, protecting his home planet. With Thrawn attacking, Commander Suttu arrives to save his nephew. The rebels join forces with Hondo once more, promising all the weapons they need. However, they are within a cargo ship hit by an atmospheric storm. He's asked for their help only after losing his own crew. Returning to Lothal, the Ghost team want to take out the Imperial factory as Fulcrum claims they are developing a new weapon. Kanan and Ezra break in, with Kallus revealing himself as Fulcrum. However, Thrawn is aware there is a mole amongst their ranks, after the rebels secure the plans of his new TIE Defender. Ezra and Kanan visit the Bendu after having visions of Maul, finding him waiting. Their holocron connection was broken and he needs the complete information, taking Ezra to Dathomir. In Maul's home there are artifacts from his past, including the Darksaber. He uses Night Sister magic, asking where he is, as Ezra asks how to destroy the Sith. It ends where it began, a desert planet with twin suns. The Night Sisters require a debt to be paid, however, inhabiting the bodies of Kanan and Sabine, attacking Maul and Ezra. As Maul escapes, Sabine brandishes the Darksaber. Ezra forces the spirit from her, using the saber to destroy the altar, purging the spirits from his friends' bodies. Ezra tells Kanan the key to stopping the Sith is Obi-Wan Kenobi. They leave, with Sabine picking up the Darksaber. The Ghost crew search for Saw Gerrera on Geonosis, who is investigating the disappearance of the people. They find him within the tunnels, stumbling upon a Geonosian bug also. Saw interrogates it, taking things too far, trying to find out what they were building for the Empire. The Geonosian has been defending the last queen egg of its species. Chopper and Zeb find an Imperial droid within the base, an assassin disguised as a protocol droid. Sending it back with interest, Thrawn's search of the rebel base narrows. Kanan meets with Fen Rao, questioning him on the history of the Darksaber. It's a symbol for the House of Vizsla, created by Tar Vizsla 1000 years ago. He was the first Mandalorian Jedi. The saber was used to unify the people upon his death. Sabine can use it too. Reluctant, she agrees to take on the responsibility, beginning training with Kanan and Ezra. Kanan goads her as she comes to terms with her past. Returning home, Sabine attempts to convince her family to join the Rebel Alliance. Her mother Ursa reveals Sabine's father is alive, held by the Empire, reporting the rebels' presence to Gar Saxon. Sabine duels him for the Darksaber, defeating him in battle, but not killing him. Ursa does. Sabine stays with her family, with her father still imprisoned, promising to find the true leader of Mandalore. Purposefully captured by Kallus, Ezra warns the Empire was monitoring his last transmission, here to get him out. But first, with Thrawn close to knowing the location of the rebel base, they break into his office and remove it from the database. Kallus decides to stay, believing to be more useful remaining as a spy, but Thrawn knows. Mon Mothma challenges the Emperor publicly, calling the rebel cells together, ready to unite. She resigns from the Senate as the rebellion begins to come together. AP, Chopper and Wedge go on a mission, resulting in Chopper being hacked into. Recognizing something is off, Hera reverses the feed, sending the power back to the Imperials, blowing them up for touching her droid. Wandering the Tatooine desert, Maul desperately seeks out Kenobi. Ezra arrives on Tatooine himself. He finds the Sith holocron in the desert as Maul uses his apprentice to draw Kenobi out. He knows Maul is after him, sending Ezra on his way. Facing his foe, Old Ben does not ignite his saber until Maul deduces he is here protecting something. Using Maul's arrogance against him, the Master Jedi puts him away with ease. Attempting to send a message to the rebels, Kallus is taken prisoner by Thrawn. Thrawn deduces the rebels' location, arriving above Attalon. Kanan warns the Bendu, who is not happy with them, for bringing war to his peaceful world. Commander Sato sacrifices himself to create an opening in the Imperial forces, allowing Ezra to escape and send for reinforcements. Kanan calls the mystical entity a coward. He is not happy. He serves but the will of the Force, disappearing. Ezra asks Sabine for help as a storm forms above the rebel base. The Bendu strikes, taking down the Imperial ships as the rebels escape. Thrawn orders they concentrate fire at the center of the storm. Ezra and Sabine's forces take out the interdictor, with Kallus jumping in an escape pod picked up by the Ghost, jumping into hyperspace. Thrawn faces the fallen Bendu, but is told that his defeat is near. Before he can be killed, he disappears once more.
He will avenge us.
Sabine leads an attack on Mandalore searching for her father. Bo-Katan joins the fight, warning that it was a trap to lure her in. Katan is seen by many as the rightful ruler of Mandalore, but refused to bow down to the Emperor and was betrayed by the Saxon clan. Sabine offers her the Darksaber, but she believes she had her chance and failed. Sabine successfully rescues her father, but witnesses the Empire using her weapon. Sabine thought she had destroyed the blueprints and prototype, but apparently not. Breaking in, she turns the weapon against the Empire before blowing it up. In front of the leaders of Mandalorian clans, she presents Bo with a saber once more. Kallus suggests the rebels tap into the relay and monitor Imperial fleet movements. Picked up by Saw, he bombs the relay instead. He requires Ezra and Sabine's help, tracking secret cargo of what was being built on Geonosis. They find Imperial prisoners, however. Ezra senses something more, coming across a giant kyber crystal. Saw blows the ship, still desperate to find what this superweapon is. Ryder contacts the rebels, warning that Thrawn has begun new trials for an upgraded TIE Defender. Returning to Lothal, the crew find it in dire shape. Sabine suggests they steal the TIE Defender data recorder. Upon doing so, her and Ezra run from the Imperials. Ezra sees a Lothwolf watching them. No one has seen them in over 100 years. Thrawn dispatches specialized assistants to help Governor Price, an assassin, Rook. Hera escapes the planet with the Defender data, taking it to the Alliance as the rest of the crew are cornered by the Empire. Following the Lothwolves, they are transported, moving through hyperspace and waking the other side of the planet. The White Lothwolf has a deep connection to the Force and to the energy of this planet. Hera asks for permission to lead an attack on the factory on Lothal to prevent the mass production of the TIE Defender. The entire attack force is shot down by Thrawn. Hera and Mart survive. Hera is captured by Rook, ordering Chopper and Mart to run, being collected by Kanan. As Sabine creates gliders to sneak back into the city, Tarkin warns Thrawn his TIE Defender program is in trouble, as Director Krennic demands more funding and attention for Project Stardust, leaving to meet with the Emperor immediately. Sabine and Ezra collect a getaway ship whilst Kanan rescues Hera. Rook attacks the pair, but they push him off the roof, with Kanan dropping his lightsaber in the process. They head to the fuel depot for pickup. Sabine and Ezra arrive, however Price orders the walkers to fire at the fuel pod, blowing it up. Kanan rushes forward, holding his hands aloft, holding the flames back. Hera goes after him, calling his name, but he turns to her, holding her back. A completely selfless act and one of a true Jedi. The Force grants him his vision one last time, before pushing the ship away as he is enveloped in flame. The crew return to base, with Zeb and Chopper quickly realizing what has happened. Chopper holds his friend's hand as a tear falls down her cheek. Ezra is faced with the White Lothwolf, admitting he is afraid and lost without his master. But the wolf says they must fight together to protect the secrets of the Jedi Temple. The Empire has excavated the temple, with the Emperor having a keen interest in what is hidden there. Sabine distracts the troopers as Ezra opens a gateway, jumping through. Ezra falls into the world between worlds, a pathway between all time and space, hearing voices of the future and the past. He moves towards another portal, peering through to see Ahsoka battling Vader on Malachor. Before Vader strikes her down, Ezra reaches in, pulling her through. He explains everything, and she in turn suggests Kanan's will is still at work through the Wolf Dune. Ezra believes he can save his master too, but Ahsoka says that he must let go. The gateway closes and they are attacked by Sidious. Struggling to hold off the might of the Emperor, the Jedi run. Ahsoka re-enters her portal, promising to find Bridger, as he travels back to Lothal, sealing the portal and levelling the temple behind him. With his mission complete, the White Lothwolf watches Hera and Ezra before moving on, as Kanan becomes completely one with the Force. Hera gathers together friends of the Ghost for a final mission, believing them doomed to fail. Ryder contacts Price, agreeing to give the rebels up. However, it was a ruse, drawing the Imperials out and rounding them up. The fight is not yet over. Thrawn is returning and they must drive the Empire from Lothal for good. Controlling the Imperial Dome, they utilize Protocol 13, drawing all Imperial forces back to base for evacuation. Thrawn instructs Rook to deactivate the shield generator, allowing him to fire on the city, forcing Ezra's hand. He gives Chopper his lightsaber, meeting with Thrawn, as the remaining crew work to get the shield generators back online. Thrawn takes him to the Emperor. Meanwhile, Mart completes a special mission if Ezra's plan was to fail, to go into orbit and send out a signal on frequency 0, calling some old friends. Palpatine offers Ezra what might have been and still could be, but it is simply an illusion. Zeb takes on Rook, finally defeating the assassin, as the shield is brought back up, protecting the city from Thrawn's bombardment. During the mission, Gregor is hit, holding his brother's hand as he passes away. Ezra confronts Thrawn as unidentified objects enter orbit, destroying the Imperial blockade in seconds. The Purgles have arrived. Shot by Thrawn, Ezra pushes him into the embrace of the Purgles as they prepare to jump into hyperspace. With all Imperial ships gone, the rebels launch the dome, blowing it up, freeing Lothal from the Empire's reign. Years pass and the Empire never came back. Zeb took Kallus to Larasan, showing him he hadn't destroyed the Lasat people, being welcomed as one of them. Hera and Rex fought in the Battle of Endor with their latest recruit, Spectre 7, Jason Syndulla. Once protecting Lothal in Ezra's absence, Sabine leaves with Ahsoka to find him, lost, somewhere in the unknown regions.
And remember, the Force will be with you, always.